not that big a deal. So, what in the world does that have to do with race? Why in the world would we do something like that? Well, again, sometimes it gives us a tool to be able to have conversations that are difficult, whether they're about race or about anything else. But since race is the topic for today, this is not to excuse racist behavior. This is not to excuse any person that has done anyone wrong on the basis of race. Not at all. But as we look forward, how do we get through this? The trying times that we have, the national conversations on the radio, on TV, in our households, in the kitchen, they're all about race right now and all the crazy stuff that's happening in our world. And they should be. We should have been having these conversations 30 years ago. So if we want to take a positive out of what's going on here, at least we're having the conversations now. At least you can't run away from it. At least those with white hoods and robes that don't have their faces covered anymore, so we can see all of us. Okay? So the key to the exercise is understanding that even though we may worship together, even though we may be great friends, even though we see each other often, I would imagine that not everybody knew all the people that were going to take steps forward for the different reasons that they had. I would imagine none of us really know if either one of us had 3 meals a day through the course of our childhood. Because how many know your childhood is gigantic in your development and in the effect that it has on your life. And the key is here, Dan, you can throw that last slide up there for me, please. So the definition, there are many definitions for privilege, but the one we're going to work with here is the unearned benefit, favor, or advantage. As I said, doesn't only have to do with race. It has to do with just about everything you can imagine. But did we earn for our parents to have an opportunity to stay together through the course of our childhood? We had nothing to do with that. Did we earn having a father figure in our home? Didn't earn that. Did we earn the right to have a wonderful mother in the household? We had nothing to do with that. Did we earn the opportunity for 3 meals a day? Did we earn the opportunity to be told that we're loved every day? No, we didn't. So is it understandable to think maybe that sometimes we take these things for granted? Is it possible that some of these advantages that we may have or benefits that we may have may even be subconscious? We didn't even know they existed a lot of times. Not every time. A lot of times. Okay? So I will leave you with this. Sometimes we just unconsciously go through our lives and we are unaware of the privilege that we may have. Because what happens is we're very much capable of identifying when we don't have privilege. Hey, he got that ice cream cone and I didn't. Hey, she didn't have to do all the work that I had to do. Hey, whatever. It's easy to point out when we don't have it. We can do that all day long. But can we identify it when we do have privilege? And not only identify it, but do something about it. Because wouldn't it be nice when you don't have privilege in a certain scenario? Maybe at work, you just started at work, you've been there 5 days. Most people have been there 10 years. Wouldn't it be nice if a person that has been there for 10 years would take their arm around you and say, let me show you how this place works? Wouldn't it be nice if that person said, let me show you the danger areas of here, the different personalities that exist throughout this building, just so you can manage them a little bit better? Wouldn't it be nice for that person to step up for you sometimes when maybe you've been wronged? Well, you have to do the same thing yourself for somebody else when you do have privilege. Privilege is power. Use that power for the right things. Use it to help somebody else. Because after all, that's what Jesus tells us to do, doesn't he? We're always looking to help and love one another. Let's use our privilege when we do have it to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. It is 11:34, and I have 25 more minutes, and we're going to go to part 2. It's not even 12 o'clock yet, so don't be looking at me all like funny like that. Y'all just chill out. But this is important because a few weeks ago I came across a sermon from a pastor that I respect this guy and his ministry, Pastor Robert Morris from Gateway Church. Many of you guys know who he is. I want us to look at this 25-minute presentation. This is the part 2 of our discussion today, but I think this is important to our conversation as we wrap this thing up. Let's hit play, hit the lights, and let's begin. You can turn it up, Jazz.